into the breach on spend capability coordination
I want to bring
Europe.
my final point on to what's happening. And there's a lot of hard work that's been undertaken by yourself abroad, especially to ensure that there's a just and lasting peace for our Ukrainian friends who we are rightly supporting. You're trying to keep together the transatlantic NATO alliance, especially in the midst of a very unpredictable ally in terms of the new Trump administration. But if all goes pear-shaped at home, then all of that hard work would be unravelled. And we've got a lot of perennial procurement problems within defence, namely the Ajax, Boxer vehicles and MAN SVs. So how are you going to ensure that there is value for money within defence procurement?
Oh, by the increased oversight that we're putting in, because I don't think there has been enough focus on value for money in procurement, and we need to change that. But just to reassure you, I mean, in terms of what's happening in Ukraine, we cannot let up in our efforts to bring about a just and lasting peace. That affects Ukraine, Europe, and it affects the United Kingdom. We can see Russian intent in terms of land, in terms of what they've been doing in our waters, in cyber, what happened at Salisbury not so many years ago. We have to be alert to that ever-present danger from Russia, and therefore the work that we do in Ukraine, I'm going straight to Berlin after this to continue that, is to ensure that we deal not just with the terrible conflict in Ukraine that's been going on for nearly 4 years now, Russian aggression exacting a very heavy price in Ukraine, but it's about our defence and security as well, and that's why it's such a central focus of what I've been doing.
Thank you. Can you talk about having a conversation and leading a conversation? Who are you having these conversations with, Prime Minister?
Oh, in terms of defence and security, all the other countries involved in the coalition,
internationally,
all of the work we're doing in the media in this country in relation to different communities, the discussions I have in every community I go to where there's
when you may say communities,
industry.
you mean geographical communities?
Okay, Lancashire for the Turkish deal, I went there to talk to the communities there about the impact.
When you say communities, you mean
the workforce, their families, their communities. The same in the Clyde. I went to talk to the apprentices, to the workforce, and their wider communities. I mean, they're two examples, but we're doing this across the country. It needs to be. I would accept the challenge. It needs to be more formalised into a conversation, which is what we envisaged in the strategic review, and that's a bit of work that needs to be fast forwarded, in my view. But the conversation in terms of the dangers we're facing and what we have to do to step up to those dangers and what that means for strategic decisions in this country.
We've got the conversation, then it's the delivery that Mr Dessy was highlighting that needs to happen. Thank you. Mr Eston, Bill Eston MP.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Prime Minister. The energy price cap is set to be £83 higher in April next year than it was at the general election. That's after the budget measures that your Chancellor has announced. Energy costs are set to increase as a result of improvements to the network and new generation, including Sizewell C. They're going to go on to consumer bills. Chris Stark, your own champion, says that energy bills will be slightly lower in the run-up to 2030. Is there a danger, Prime Minister, that people will say you haven't kept your promise to reduce energy bills by £300?
Well, as you will have seen from the budget, we're taking every step that we can to reduce energy bills, and that's why in the budget we took the decision to reduce energy bills to take £150 off bills for every household. That, as you know in your committee very well, is in addition to the £150 that we've taken off by way of discount for last year. It was the 3 million of poorest households. We've now doubled that to the 6 million poorest households. We need to take further measures that accept your challenge, but I'm also absolutely clear that the only long-term way to get energy prices down is to make the transition to renewables, because energy prices are, at the moment, still a reflection of the fossil fuel market that we are on the international market, which of course has been profoundly impacted by Ukraine over the last 4 years.
Thank you.
Certainly, thank you. And the point that Chris Stark is making is it will take until 2030 to start to see them coming down. You don't have very long to get that £300 reduction.
No, that's why we're pulling every lever. I'm well aware that for many families, the vast majority, the cost of living is the single most important issue, and that their energy bills are one of the bills they worry about the most, which is why we took the decision in the budget to take that £150 off bills. But do we need to do more? Yes, we do need to do more. Do we need to get to the transition to renewables more quickly? Do we need to try and resolve the situation in Ukraine for a whole bunch of reasons, but among them the fact that Ukraine has affected our energy bills more than anything else in the last 5 years or so?
Thank you. The latest climate science, meanwhile, suggests a doubling of the carbon emissions since 2017, and the actuarial analysis that unless we have an immediate and dramatic change in approach, we could see a GDP fall of 20% in the next 20 years. How do you address this challenge? The UK has shown great leadership internationally, but this latest evidence is really, really stark.
Yeah, I think with climate change, we've got to see this not just as an obligation, but also as a huge opportunity. As we go to renewable energy, there's a global race on, and huge amounts of investment are being put around the globe into different countries on renewables. I'm really pleased that we're attracting a good deal of that investment because of the clarity of our policy, and more money has come in by way of foreign investment into this country on renewables and clean power than on any of our other sectors. So we've got to take advantage of those opportunities, and therefore it won't be an inhibitor on growth, it will be an engine for growth if we get this right.
Okay, and coming to this point about the leadership you've shown internationally, the commitment to an 81% reduction in nationally determined contributions, which is now the second highest, as Denmark's gone 1% higher since 1990, but that's something to be very, very proud of. You decided not to make a financial commitment to the Tropical Forest Forever facility.